I think one of the big ones that wakes a lot of people up is when they get called out for saying a woman is a female, or like we shouldn't have males in female sports. There's some really obvious ones that you can't ignore, are obviously insane. And like for me, having it affect my life and seeing it impact other people's lives, I know a lot of women who were very much so on the left and then saw this happen and were like, nope, not anymore.
There's a line. I mean, I really do feel like the left pushes further and further until finally the bubble pops.
Mm-hmm. But for the most part, they keep it to a certain point where it stays loving. And that's the thing. People believe it's loving. This is a kind way to do things. Look, everybody benefits from this. Everybody benefits if you don't let people say hateful things. That's what they believe,
And then they say it's hateful to say something like, the scientific research coming out of Europe suggests that we should not be giving children sex change surgery. And they say that's hate speech. And it's like, it's just what they're doing in Europe. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
I mean, it was the same thing with kids learning with masks on. Europe much earlier came out and said, we have to make sure that kids are learning to speak, that speech is very clear, that we can, and the scientific studies came out, but then, it was like, we weren't allowed to say that. I mean, there are all these things that as studies come out from other countries, we're slower to adopt that thinking. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, but I think your average person is like, oh, no hate speech. Good. We shouldn't be throwing slurs around. But it's playing out to a much more extreme way.
This is what they do. They will say something like, it's the Mott and Bailey. We're just saying that people shouldn't be using slurs. And then everyone goes, well, we agree with that. Then you come out and you say something like, I have concerns about whether or not we should be sterilizing children. Hate speech, that's what we ban.
Right.
And so these default libs who don't pay attention and don't know what's going on have no idea what they're actually getting behind is like overt communism.
I think that you also have a bunch of people who don't understand what sterilization is. I think that you have a lot of people that truly probably have never been through a surgery, probably don't know what it's like to go into the hospital, don't know what the after effects are of going through something like this. And so they look at the people who are saying, we've got to keep kids safe, and say, how can you rob children of this opportunity? Probably a lot of those people will never be in the situation of even having a child that is considering this. But I will tell you that I've noticed that friends who have been wildly liberal about this stuff and have been very supportive of these surgeries, when their own child has come to them and said, I've decided that I'm the opposite gender, it's a different reaction.
They get mad or scared?
They're like, this is not happening to us. This
Right.
is not you. This is not, I mean, in some cases, I've seen both. I've seen where it almost feels like the parent pushed them into it. And I've seen where you have a strong Christian or Jewish community, and then suddenly like this social contagion comes through and the parents are like, whoa, wait a minute. But you were the ones talking to your kids about this is acceptable. We love this and this is great. And they're talking to kids that are way too young to understand what this means. And we've seen this new phenomena where kids see this on social media and all kids are looking for a place to belong. They're looking for a place to stand out. They're looking for a place to get attention. That's what kids are. And so these people are getting a lot of attention. This must be where I belong. And then mom and dad don't know how to handle it because you've got so many pressures on you to say that this is okay. No, it's not okay. I mean, that's the benefit of not being a liberal. I don't have to be like,